Carey Price for Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Already. Some start.
Exactly.
Coming to you from the Nation Network studio, built by Arbor Lee here at the Historic Wall Center, and the show presentation Bet365. I'm Matt, he's Blake, Mike and all his Junos hitting switches, conducting things.
How are you?
I thought I was okay, but apparently I've got something going on in my throat now. Anyways. Maybe it was all the smoke that rolled in from the island yesterday.
Yeah, it could be.
Were you in the midst of that?
I can see it very clearly from where I am. Yeah, it's not good. Thankfully, and rarely do we say this, but thankfully there is a lot of rain on the horizon, so that should help the firefighters. So our thoughts are with them, and hopefully they all stay safe until that rain arrives to help.
Thomas Müller going to get a welcome to Vancouver moment here tomorrow.
That's right. Well, not tomorrow, Friday, when he's actually on the pitch.
Or sorry, Friday. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Poor guy. Let's start with our Bogey Juice poll question, asking you, should the Canucks be interested in trading for Bruins centers Pavel Zacha or Casey Mittelstadt? You can vote yes, you can vote no. Do so at the Carey Price X and YouTube channels. We mentioned these names with Cam Robinson yesterday, and we did so because of a report from Jimmy Murphy of RG Media. And Jimmy's been covering the Bruins for an awfully long time there in Beantown. He reported that, look, the Bruins made a trade at the deadline with Colorado, sending Charlie Coyle to the Avalanche along with the draft pick and acquiring Casey Mittelstadt, the one-time first-round pick of the Buffalo Sabres, who had matriculated to the Avalanche, fell out of favor there last year. But he reported via a anonymous source that the Bruins made that trade not necessarily because they fancied Casey Mittelstadt, but because they liked the draft pick and the prospect that they got from the Avalanche in that deal. An NHL executive told him, quote, "I don't know how many rumors he's been in, but I've been hearing Casey Mittelstadt could be on the move again since before the Bruins season even ended. There was a common feeling that he wasn't their main target when they traded for him. Zellers and the second-round pick were. It was Casey Mittelstadt, William Zellers, a forward prospect from the state of Minnesota like Mittelstadt. He's headed off to North Dakota, and a 2025 second-round pick from Colorado to Boston for Coyle and a 26th fifth-rounder right at the deadline. Zacha's name has been out there as well. And people are still trying to get a handle on what Boston's really trying to do here. They know they got to go through some degree of retool, but I'm not sure you can rebuild in that town. Anyways, Zacha, 28, 6'3", 206, left shot centerman. He was 14 goals, 47 points last year. He had a career-high 59 points in 23-24. And he played 19 minutes a night last year. He was the second most used Bruins forward, including on both special teams. Mittelstadt turns 27 in November. 6'1", 195, also a left shot center. 15-25 for 40 points last year. His career high also 59 points, although back in 22-23. And he has played on the power play. Blake Price, what says you? Should the Canucks be interested in trading for one of these players?
That's the question we're asking. Should they be interested? And the answer for that is yes. We haven't proposed what the cost is, what the package to be offered will be, et cetera, et cetera. So if we're just asking, should they have interest? Yes. Yeah, they should have interest for sure. Then we get down to what the cost of acquisition will be. Both of these guys with those 59-point seasons, I mean, 59 points are second-line numbers. Are those high water marks for one's career? if they're not high water marks, their best seasons aren't going to be much better than that. Let's say that. I think they're probably both closer to 45, 50 point guys, which is still very helpful. And the Canucks may not have another center that's capable of doing that. In fact, I'm pretty confident in predicting that. Even a career year for Filipino would be hard pressed to be better one of these two guys. So we're merely asking, should they have interest? I think it's an easy yes for me on that.
Yeah, it's an easy yes for me too. Although more so on Zacha than Mittelstadt. Now, I'm not sure either is the quintessential second line center that you most covet here. No. Sure. But we're not in the realm of getting choosy here. Remember, we're in the it's more expensive not to realm, using Jim Rutherford's words, where he forecasted the acquisition of a top two center before this offseason and has thus far failed to deliver. Zacha makes $4.75 million this year and next. Mittelstadt is $5.75 this year and next. Zacha, as mentioned, has size. He plays both special teams, and of course, we know the Vancouver Canucks have traded out penalty-killing forwards this summer or lost them in free agency. Pius Suter and Dakota Joshua, who 2 years ago played a primary penalty-killing role. Pius Suter was their most used penalty-killing forward last year. I like the size element of their pairing with Pettersson. Plus, let's face it, gang, they are one center injury away from being in really desperate straits. So you've got to be able to create some depth. In terms of what Zacha would cost, he's got a modified no-trade clause.
Just 8 teams, though.
Yeah, it's it's itty-bitty. Mittelstadt has no trade protection whatsoever. Canucks have about $3.5 million in salary cap space right now, so Zacha in particular is achievable here without having to send too much money the other way. Now, I wouldn't want to trade one of my young defensemen for him, but I would consider Höglander and some of the wingers you have on this team. And if you have to sweeten with draft picks or prospects, again, guys who are further away from the NHL, no, that is something I would seriously consider if I'm the Canucks, because he's clearly an upgrade at center. Either of them are clearly an upgrade at center ice if you want to go 3 deep on the Canucks chart. It provides the depth. It allows you to play Ratu without having to force feed him third line minutes, tough matchups, all those things. Bring him along a little more slowly if need be. Yeah, I would be quite interested.
Lekramaki is an overpay. You tell me. I mean,
some might say, but I mean,
I don't know.
So I think you got to move some money out, a little bit of money out beyond Lekramaki. But if it's 2 pieces, including Lekramaki for Zacha, yeah, that's something I consider. I mean, again, we're in a win now, everything to make next year's playoffs, right? No steps back world with the Vancouver Canucks. If we had a patient owner, if we had a long-term vision and team construction, draft, and develop, then that's a different kettle of fish. But as we know, that's not the modus operandi.
You mentioned Höglander, and there's no doubt that the Canucks have a bit of a size issue and a weight issue on the forward ranks for the most part. You like the trade of a Höglander for a Zacha from that standpoint, but that's not enough, right? It's not a 1-for-1 Höglander for Zacha. That's not going to work.
No. Höglander and Lekramaki is an expensive price.
That seems a little bit overpriced if you start to talk in that direction.
And maybe Boston can send you something back as well on the other side, make it 2 for 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, but look, if those 2 players are available, as Murphy at RG Media says, and again, he's been covering that team for a while, I think you have to investigate that. As you sit here and you wait on Marco Rossi and what Bill Guerin and the Minnesota Wild are going to do. But again, Rossi is going to be so much more expensive than these guys, right? Like, that is significant money that would have to go out to make room for Rossi. And not too dissimilar, Mason McTavish in Anaheim, if he even is available. If you're comfortable with Roslovic and you're sitting here waiting him out and you think Roslovic's going to sign for your number and your term before the month is out, fair enough. But if that's not transpiring, and apparently the Leafs are also involved or would like to add Roslovic. They got some cap concerns there. But if that's not the case, and the Rossi and McTavish situations are going to play out with just status quo and those guys signing shorter-term deals to stay in Minnesota and Anaheim respectively, then I do think you have to canvass and survey the rest of the league. And yeah, I would be quite pleased to get a player like Pavel Zacha.
Is Middlestat cheaper to acquire because he has the higher cap hit? They have the same
so.
points per game. They have the same points per game, but Middlestat costs more and has less utility in terms of minutes on the ice.
Correct.
But he does have age on his side, a couple of years younger.
A little bit, yeah. But again, he's 27 in November. Zacha plays almost the entirety of the season at 28. But yeah, especially given Murphy's report that, he wasn't really what Boston was coveting when they sent Coyle out, that they liked the prospect, they liked the draft pick, and things did not go well for him last year in Colorado. I know they were quite anxious to move on from him after getting him from the Buffalo Sabres in that Bowen Byram deal of a couple of years ago, and that one certainly doesn't look good on the Avs.
The next time I play golf, Matt, I better have Bogey Juice ready in the fridge after the round because I haven't played in a while, and I'm going to need to celebrate my mediocrity with a BJ, Bogey Juice. That is crisp apple flavor, ginger, top shelf vodka, and a little bit of simple syrup are the ingredients that makes this one so tantalizing to drink. Pour it over rocks and add some soda for a cocktail. You can take it as a shot if you like as well. They're available in both forms at bogeyjuice.com. And don't forget to check out the merch store because they have a lot of fun inside the merch store.
Got some of those BJ hats here in the studio. Playing golf today. Might need the Bogey Juice post round. Our top story brought to you by Yellow Dog, Neighborhood Brewing, Foolish Winery. Validation, if not vindication. MLS's independent review panel has upheld the Whitecaps' appeal of Edier Ocampo's one-game suspension from Saturday's 2-1 loss in San Jose, meaning Ocampo is available for selection for Sunday's big home match against Houston, where we could well see the debut of German superstar Thomas Müller. While that's gratifying for Ocampo and the Caps, of course, we can't go back and replay the game from the 27th minute with Vancouver fielding the full 11.
Right.
So the damage is done here, but it seems that also applies to referee Tim Ford, who made not only the incorrect decision on the second yellow card, the red card, the ejection, and, of course, the one-game automatic suspension on Ocampo, but also on that penalty that netted San Jose a goal in a one-goal victory, and head coach Jesper Sorensen saying everybody saw it was a slip, except for one guy. Har Johal of Daily Hive has done some terrific reporting here yesterday. She's reporting that Pro, and that is the association that represents soccer referees, has looked at the social media posts of Ford's wife of the family at LAFC games between 2018 and 2023. We talked about these yesterday, that she has a number of posts on her social media of the family at LAFC games called BMO Stadium, her husband's happy place. The kids are all kitted out, and as we mentioned yesterday, Tim Ford is well within his rights to take his family to an LAFC game, especially if his kids are loving soccer and loving LAFC and they want to cheer for the team. That is totally legitimate, like any other dad who wants to take their kids to sporting events and have experiences with them. Now, Pro has concluded that there are no photos of Ford himself in MLS kits or colors of teams where he has attended matches. This, according to Har Johal's reporting.
Well, he's dressed in black at the LAFC, but it's very clearly not an LAFC shirt. But it is black.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not sure we can police colors. No, we can police crests. Whitecaps fans were the ones who dug up all of these photos after Ford's work on Saturday. And, of course, Cap supporters still furious about his 2023 work in that playoff game November BC place, where he physically gets in the way of the Caps and creates an LAFC chance and goal the other way, not to mention some other controversial calls in that game, which LAFC won. So Pro says there are no photos of Ford in LAFC kits, but they added to Har, quote, "We are reevaluating our processes about what constitutes a connection with a club." So there you have it. This has led the Referees Association to pin down a little further on objectivity, on neutrality. And I'm sure they're going to have a word with their members now about what constitutes inappropriate behavior when you've got legions of fans in 30 markets now in the MLS who are expecting a referee who calls the game down the middle and doesn't favor either side.
And he's, again, only had about a 1/3 workload this year. It will be very interesting to monitor his usage as a referee the rest of this year. And I'm going to go out on a limb that I don't think is that long and say he never referees a Whitecaps match
game again.
Ever.
Yeah, I'll go on the limb and say he's going to get Stefan Ojade out of there. Har also got a statement from Major League Soccer in this regard. MLS works collaboratively with the professional referee organization, Pro, to ensure the integrity of its competition and that all elements of officiating are held to the highest standards. So there you go. Meanwhile, the Caps are in Hamilton tonight to face Forge FC in the first leg of their Canadian Championship semifinal. Do you understand what they're getting into tonight, Price? The
in terms
Hammers,
of the opposition?
Yeah, the Hammers, as they are called, have 11 wins and 7 draws in 18 CPL matches this season. It's a league record 18-game unbeaten streak. And there's a lot of belief coursing through this CPL underdog facing the mighty Caps, who, of course, have collected Canadian championships over the years.
And it's a bit of a trap game, too, given the
is it ever? It ever?
Now, that's an announcement for media and fans more than it is for teammates. I would guess that they meet him sometime today after he lands his plane. I doubt he meets the media and fans before he meets his teammates. So
although there are going to be cameras out at the airport, so
yeah, there will be glimpses of him today as well. So
for sure.
I don't know that it's I don't know that it's necessarily going to. I mean, the team's in Hamilton, so you're only going to have
there's only going to be a select number of players around.
Yeah.
What kind of lineup do they dress tonight? Do you have to play a fuller lineup given your opposition has been on one heck of a heater? Like, can you treat this like it's a garden variety CPL team, or do you have to look at them a little closer in terms of being MLS worthy competition?
Well, I might learn to eat these words because he's so new, but I mean, isn't this perfect for Kenji Cabrera? Because it is not a league match. It's against quote unquote lesser competition. It's a league down. I don't think that's too insulting of Forge. So is that a way to keep the skill level high while not taxing your MLS 11 just yet? And Kenji Cabrera hasn't worked his way into that fold just yet. So I don't know. It might be an interesting time to drop him into the lineup. And of course, you've got a lot of CanCon as well that you rely on the daily basis as well. So I would expect you see a healthy contingent, including a day off for Takaoka perhaps, and Isaac Boehmer getting in. So
OK Falls, BC.
That's right. Yeah.
I like the Cabrera shout. Should also mention here, Jesper Sorensen said Ali Ahmed should be ready for the St. Louis match
Yeah.
That's August 23rd at
10
BC
days.
Place. So Ali's not going to play tonight, nor is he going to play Sunday against Houston. Of course, the big news comes tomorrow as serial winner and footballing icon Thomas Müller is unveiled to Vancouver. More on that in a second. He shot a couple of videos today one before departing Munich, a second from the plane. We have heard that he has a big personality, that he's a bit of a card, that he doesn't take himself too seriously, despite all of this winning and accolades he's done over a 20-year professional career. And he proved that with these farewell to Munich and hello to Vancouver videos. Let's watch the first one from earlier this morning.
Today is my flight to Vancouver. The last run in Germany. I'm really excited for the upcoming weeks. Let's go together. Let's go Whitecaps.
Hey, we've talked about the fact that he's staying fit. He's been training with Bayern.
Mm-hmm.
His contract ended with Bayern 12 days ago, but he's remained in tip-top shape. So all that is great. Again, not to drag Stuart Armstrong's name through the mud, but it took weeks and weeks for him to reach game fitness. And it looks like Thomas Müller, he'll just need to understand the system of Jesper Sorensen. And given the soccer mind that is Thomas Müller, I don't think it's going to take very long. So I think he probably makes an appearance on Sunday. And I think you could see him starting as soon as the following week.
Mm-hmm. Here he is on the plane.
Hi guys, I'm on my flight to Vancouver. I'm looking for the goat. Can you help me? I cannot find him anywhere. Manuele, please. It's my first flight without Manuel Neuer since maybe 15 years. I don't know. I'm very excited to come to Vancouver to play for the Whitecaps. Fingers crossed for my first games. See you there. Bye-bye.
So explain the reference there about who he's looking for.
Manuel Neuer, the legendary keeper for Bayern, 39 years of age. And I saw somebody respond immediately to that post saying, hey, Takaoka needs a new contract. Could they bring Neuer over, a la the mafia that Messi's attracted there in Messi? Could we get the Bayern mafia here together in Vancouver? Hugo Lloris is still pretty effective for LAFC. You never know. You just see he's not a shy guy. It's
no, and what I like about this, we referenced that athletic story from yesterday, from earlier in the week or last week, where he apparently said no to FC Cincinnati in part because he had reservations of being like a pure marketing tool for the German population in that city. I mean, he seems to be taking up the marketing handle on his own volition here.
Totally. Yeah.
Now, it does take more than that. It's quite easy to post a couple of 15-second videos to social media. You hope he's going to play ball a little bit more wholesomely with independent media as he arrives from Vancouver and makes his MLS tour, because let's face it, Blake, like, he's not just a deal in this town. He is a deal in a lot of MLS markets.
And the good news is that in all these videos, like, he could be doing both of those videos without really mentioning the Whitecaps brand. He could be mentioning on my way to Vancouver. I can't wait to be, to greet my fans. Like Ibra would have said, I can't wait to greet my fans there. And like, would you mention the team? Like, he's mentioning the team a
focused.
Yeah, he is. Yep. He's team focused. Yep. He's saying Whitecaps multiple times in these videos.
Vancouver.
Yeah. So I think this is just the right kind of guy. Again, I'm not going to predict any greatness on the pitch just yet. We're going to have to see how it works. He is eventually, with these older players, eventually they hit the wall. Whitecaps fans are hoping he hasn't found that wall just yet, and there's all sorts of good indications that he hasn't. But from the character of guy, it's perfect so far. Like, it just looks great for them.
Yeah. Okay. As for tomorrow, well, because you're a part of this, tell us what's in store tomorrow from the Whitecaps from Vancouver Whitecaps FC in Müller?
Tomorrow morning, at 9 a.m. it's expected. He will be unveiled in front of the media, and I don't really know too much about what the whole process is going to look like, but he'll meet the media. I'm sure take questions, and give his.
He'll hold up the jersey with his number to the photo op.
Sort of stuff. So I think it should be a pretty exciting time, and I think it's going to be one of those moments that people will compare to the Mark Messier press conference and such as big moments in Vancouver sports, and you just hope that it turns out well for the city.
Yep, and you hope it turns out well for him as well. He has a couple of fabulous years here, helps the Caps do some winning, and leaves a good taste in everyone's mouth, because I'll say this was shocking news over the last 3 or 4 weeks, however long it's been going, because this started as a throwaway line on the MLS All-Star game. Was it Alexei Lalas or was it somebody else? I forget. You'll have to inform me,
I think it was
Blake.
somebody else. I can't remember. Yeah.
But this sounded like a throwaway line or something completely out of left field, that Müller and the Whitecaps were connected. And the next thing you know, it happened. And Vancouver has not had a player of this stature for an awfully long time, if ever. So looking forward to this. And I guess we'll find out tomorrow if he plays on Sunday. Is that fair?
They might hint at that. They might want to see him on the pitch once just to sort of see how it looks.
And again, Friday's going to be so soggy that I don't know.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
And I guess Friday, by that point, the rest of the team is actually probably back at training. The players that play tonight will get a lighter day tomorrow or a full day off tomorrow. And then, it'll be a pretty normal training day on Friday, you would have to think.
Well, except for there's going to be an awful lot more media there.
Yes.
Normal.
Even on a
Har is going to have some company there. Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing is if there, and again, the rain is supposed to be pretty heavy. They may not be able to practice. Yeah. They might not be able to train on their normal pitch. He might come in his first day of training, might be an artificial pitch,
or indoors, just completely, scuttle any kind of outdoor activity if it's too bad. I don't know.
And that might scuttle his playing time then on Sunday too, right? So that
we'll know more tomorrow. We'll know more tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this.
The second biggest announcement of the day tomorrow is going to be the dropping of Neighborhood Brewing's new beer.
Oh, wow.
High Key Tangerine and Pineapple IPA. Loud burst of tangerine, pineapple, tropical energy backed by a bold trio of Crush, Nectarone, and HBC 1019 hops. I know those are your favorite, Matt. You've talked about those ad nauseum here with me of late. The HBC 1019 hops. It's dripping in citrus and Sweat Island vibes. Just another IPA? We think not. It's your main character moment in a can. Check it out from Neighborhood Brewing.
We have a someone in the chat here who wants to talk more about Zaka and the Bruins centerman, Eleutherius. Hope I said that correctly. Who says Middlestead and Zaka are unproven as second-line centers on good teams. So why not give your own guy Ratu a chance for free? Well, he's also unproven, and irrespective of whether a team is good or bad. Atu Ratu at second line center is not a plan. It's a hope bet. He has played 48 NHL games, and he looked very good down the stretch last year. Don't get me wrong, but you want a young player like that to earn his way up the lineup. I mean, if you start the season with Atu Ratu as your second line center, you're probably the worst second line center in the NHL.
You're hoping Ratu turns into Middlestead and Zaka.
Right.
Now, you'd be ecstatic if he did, but that, you don't bank on that.
Well, Zach in particular, no. That's too much too soon. Yeah. Frankly, for some, Ratu as third line center will be too much too soon.
Yeah,
in fact, for me, I would not be surprised in the least. In fact, I would probably bet money that Adam Foote starts Teddy Bluger as his third line center with Ratu in the fourth hole, just to decrease the pressure on him and make sure he, gets his feet beneath him, because he's played more in the AHL than he has in the NHL. So, decent pedigree on Ratu. And again, like what we saw at the end of last year. But no, Ratu as second line center is not a plan, or if it is, it's not a good one. A few more hockey notes here. First off, congratulations to Canucks winger Kiefer Sherwood and his new bride Ariel after their recent nuptials. More on Canucks wedding beat with Rob Williams later in the program.
Yes. Possible wedding beat.
Yes, or ring beat, and not the rings we're seeking. I say that as hockey fans in BC. A most interesting situation is about to play out with the Pride of Anaheim Lake, BC. Carey Price, Blake, is heading into the final year of his contract. You may remember we had a discussion last year about Carey Price not making the Hall of Fame in his first season of eligibility. And can we just say you shouldn't be Hall of Fame eligible while you have a current existing active contract in the NHL? Can we just...
Seems fair.
Does that not make sense?
Yeah.
Anyways, Carey Price has not played since the 21-22 season. He's in the final year of a $10.5 million deal with the Montreal Canadiens. He's owed a $5.5 million signing bonus on September 1st, and then he is set to earn a $2 million salary for the balance of the season. 60% of, or $1.2 million, is covered by insurance because of Price's injuries that have prevented him from playing hockey for the last 4 years. So 2 dominoes here. Number one, if you go on Cap Wages or Puckpedia, the Habs are showing at $4+ million over the cap, but they will get compliant by trading Carey Price. And why are we so sure that they can trade Carey Price? Because San Jose is not yet at the salary floor, Blake. And for a number of teams, getting a $10.5 million cap hit for a player who will cost them $800,000 in actual cash is attractive. So, like Shea Weber as a whatever, like some of these other huge backdiving contracts for players who are forced to retire but not officially retire, you're going to see Carey Price showing up as somebody other than the Montreal Canadiens property, I think, here in a matter of a few weeks.
Now, we should clarify. They are immediately cap compliant with him on LTIR anyhow.
There's that too.
But they don't get the full value. You only get down to the cap.
Right.
You don't get the full $10 million. It's much like the Canucks wanted out from underneath Tucker Poolman, not for the overall cap issue, but so that they can get below the cap and then utilize that space for other people. That's all. That's
correct. So there will be a cap advantage coming up for Montreal if they could trade him. Mm-hmm. And there could well be a cap advantage for San Jose if that is the acquiring team, because they are the one team below the salary floor.
It won't be much, but it'll be something.
Right now. No, exactly. Then there's another matter with an injured player and cap considerations, and it's Port Moody's Ryan Johansen. And Darren Dreger reporting this morning that an arbitrator has ruled in the Flyers' favor in an NHLPA grievance over Johansen's contract termination. Last August, the Flyers took the unusual step of terminating his contract. So that's with cause, right? And they cited a material breach. Johansen, the PA, grieved that, saying, no. Johansen has said he has a hip injury. Well, a year later, here we are, and Dreger saying this arbitrator ruling on behalf of the Flyers. So the Flyers and the Nashville Predators, who were holding back some of Johansen's salary in the trade with Philadelphia, they're going to both see some cap relief. They had it already, but this now confirms that they can go forward without having to show Ryan Johansen sitting there as a player as an injured player taking up cap space or LTIR space.
It's really too bad that Johansen's career ends on these notes.
It
off
really
and
is.
On the ice, because I mean, he is 33 right now, Matt.
That's still young. I mean,
just
and of course,
turned 33. Just like 2 weeks ago, turned 33 as a right shot center. Even if
and
he's
a big one.
Even if he's diminished, wouldn't he look good as a homecoming, third line center if he was keeping up a 45, 50 point profile?
Well, therein lied the problem. Like his last two seasons were 28 and 23 points with Nashville and Colorado. So the diminishment was already there, but no, you're right. At his height, he was a
look at 21-22. That's not that far ago. 63 points in 21-22. That was 2-3 years ago.
He was a darn good player, a big right shot centerman.
As high as 71 points, but a handful of 60-point plus seasons. Like, he's a good player.
Yeah, I can remember when Columbus made him the surprising fourth pick in that draft. There was rumors that he was the helium guy and that he would go higher than many expected. Then all of a sudden, Columbus popped on him fourth overall at the 2010 draft in Los Angeles. And, big trade, of course. Went to Nashville with Seth Jones, right? Like it was, he was a good player. And we'll see. We'll see if he can get back here at some time. As you say, still relatively
hips
young.
Are not a good sign. Like guys in
the other thing I'll forever first of all, Ryan played a lot of ball here with local media, was often on our old radio station. Do you remember when his brother Lucas was drafted towards the end of the first round that one year? I want to say it was in Buffalo, and Ryan was at the draft with him and decided to come on over to our broadcast location to watch his younger brother go through BC kid drafted in the first round interview. It was clear the party was on. He was good at that. Very sociable guy, Ryan Johansen. We had great fun with him over the years.
Comes from where all the beer is made.
That's right. I mean, right there, Murray Street, Port Moody, British Columbia. Okay, let's get to today's menu. It's brought to you by Greta. A fantastic spot to catch all the games home and away, not to mention to pregame or postgame. You are mere steps from the arena or the stadium. You got 2 games on this weekend at the stadium. Why not pregame, postgame at Greta? And if you're looking for a venue for a team building event, family reunion, just a summer sociable, private party, check out Greta. They have the fantastic street food menu. The poutine is decadent, and the arcade that encircles the bar with a game for everybody. For more info, to book your event, go to gretabar.com. Greta 50 West Cordova. Let the games begin. The aforementioned Rob Williams is going to join us here, playing a cover with Rob because we missed him last week in terms of, some of the topics we've been talking about here. Zacha and Middlestad, Elias Pettersson and the talk of revenge. Rob is fully on Elias Pettersson beat off the ice as well. And ticket prices with Rob, who's dug a little deeper. Last time we talked to Rob, he was still getting all the details on what to anticipate for ticket prices at Rogers Arena this year, not to mention some Thomas Müller talk with Rob. And then BC Lions president Dwayne Veno going to join us in studio. We're at the halfway point of the Canadian Football League season. The Lions have 5 home games left. They've only played 4 through the first half. 1-3, have not won since that season opener against the Elks with Snoop Dogg playing the pregame concert. But as you may remember, BC Place is taken next June and parts of July for the FIFA World Cup. So the Lions have what is going to be an extraordinary schedule next season through the first 6 weeks when they lose access to their home facility and have to play games away from BC Place. Now, Amar Doman and Dwayne Veno have said those games will be in British Columbia. They're going to play some road games. They're going to have a bye. But they've got to find a couple of locations to do games, BC Lions home games. So we pressed Dwayne on that, as well as talking to him about what's coming up this Saturday as the Lions return home after a bye and after a game in Hamilton to face the Montreal Alouettes. 4 p.m. kickoff at BC Place. Looking forward to the game. So we got that coming up. More baseball talk in the final segment where the Mariners continue to win. Blue Jays get a win as well. And huge business news out of the NBA today with the Portland Trailblazers. Closest franchise to Vancouver now, right?
Right now, yeah.
They've lost 2 in the Pacific Northwest and in Canada. So Portland is the last one standing there in our part of the world. And it's just been sold, and you'll know the owner if you're a hockey fan. So all that coming up on the program. Time now for our Bet365 bets of the day. Unfortunately, Gabriel Diallo did not win a set against Yannick Sinner, Blake, at the ATP event. So you missed yours. I took a future on Monday. So I'll shoot first. The Chicago Cubs are one of the most selective hitting clubs in the majors. They chase balls out of the strike zone just about a quarter of the time. It's the 3rd lowest in the bigs. And that's a key stat against a starter like Toronto's Kevin Gausman. If you listen to the Blair and Barker program, Barker's talking all the time about Gausman really just has the 2 pitches, fastball, splitter, and he needs guys to chase splitter because you don't want to throw splitter in the strike zone because guys can tee off on that. I think the Cubs are going to be patient. They're going to wait out the splitter. They're going to force him to throw him fastballs and sliders, much like the playoff game against Minnesota a couple of years ago when they took that game plan exactly to Gausman and got to him. And that's when he tends to struggle. Good young arm and Cade Horton on the mound for the Cubbies, and I'm getting plus value on Chicago, plus 110 to win at Rogers Center against the Blue Jays.
I'm going to go and look at the M's. And, hey, you want to see a pitching matchup that on paper doesn't look like much, and then you look at the numbers and you go, holy crap, both these guys are dealing. Logan Gilbert on the bump for the Mariners and Trevor Rogers for the Orioles. Gilbert's allowed more than 3 earned runs only once in his last 5 starts. Trevor Rogers hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in any of his last 5 starts. The guy's been absolutely lights out. Guy goes a minimum of 6 innings over those last 5 starts. In all those innings, 20 hits allowed in his last 5 starts. The guy is absolutely dealing right now. Plus
we going
120.
Under?
Plus 120.
Oh, okay. You're going on the Orioles. So we're both picking against the teams of local. I thought we were going under 8.5 there as I was hearing all that.
That works too, but it's less.
That's right. It's true. This segment, a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game, use code NATION when doing so. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Rob Williams. Canucks beat, seat beat, ticket beat, all of it coming up next. So Carey Price from the historic Wall Center. This next segment brought to you by the Redwoods Golf Course, where get golf ready. It's the Redwoods adult group golf lesson for beginners, 4 1-hour lessons over 4 weeks for $160. It's relaxed. It's no pressure. It's a great way to learn the game. In fact, we were talking to a colleague earlier today, Blake, who's been bringing his kids out to the fantastic practice facilities they have at the Redwoods as he gets his children involved in the game of golf. The Get Golf Ready, the next class is August 14th, so that's tomorrow. So you're going to want to get in on this quickly. Redwoods-golf.com/NATION. instruction. Now, there is private and semi-private adult lessons are also available there. They are flexible to your schedule. Blake and I have done a couple of sessions, well, one at the tee, one at the putting green with their pro Craig. Both picked up some pointers on both sides of the game, and in fact, getting out there next week to play some golf. So really looking forward.
I think I might have to join the beginners course because I have not played in a couple of weeks now, and I feel like I've forgotten what the sport is all about. So
he's right for the picking next week, Mike. I may get him next week. That's what I'm hearing. Get yourself to the Redwoods Golf Course, redwoods-golf.com/instruction to take part in the Get Golf Ready program. Next class tomorrow. Here's Rob Williams, the national sports editor of the Daily Hive, and it's Offside Sports Vertical. We missed you last week, Rob. How are you?
Hey, guys, I missed you as well. I'm doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Summer's going well?
Summer's going great. Guys, I almost had a chance to win the softball championship for my team this weekend.
Oh, softball
Athletic
guy.
glory.
Down a run. I was on deck. We get one more base hit. I've got the chance to win it. But alas, I don't know if I would have hit it. But
there's a lot of ifs here.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we have a Moonlight Graham story about here. That's the best place to be, is on the on-deck circle, Rob. You can always tell that story. If only we had gotten one more base runner, I could have been Casey.
Yeah,
that's right.
At the bat. Let's talk Elias Pettersson. You were mentioning to me that you absolutely loved the comments last week about getting revenge.
Definitely. I think I was listening to the show last week, and the guys were talking about, just how good it was that, he's even just talking to media, Swedish media at that. But then saying all the right things, and, you've got to walk the walk, but I think it's a good sign that he's talking the talk, right? So hearing that from Pettersson, I think is obviously a good sign. And I think, I've long believed that I think he's going to come back in better shape. I think that this last season, is the wake up call I think that he needed. And I think he's going to be a much different player for the Canucks next season. Now, am I 100% sure? No, but I think that's the best odds of, what are the best odds of happening? I think Pettersson comes back and he's going to be a legit number one center for this team again.
Well, they need that to happen, and then they need the legit number two center as well, but walk before they run, I suppose. We'll ask you our poll question from today. Should they be interested in the crumbs of the Boston Bruins? They're not bad crumbs.
They're more than crumbs. Yeah, I mean,
Casey Middlestad, Pavel Zacha, two options. Now, the Bruins aren't abundantly clear that either one of them has to go, but there is speculation they're available. Would you be interested?
Yeah, I remember Casey Middlestat because he's from the Pettersson draft, and he was kind of in that range of where the Canucks could pick. Now, I'm not the biggest draft guy in the world. I'm not the biggest prospects guy in the world. I rely on other people for that sort of thing. But I was at that draft in Chicago, and so I did more research on YouTube for that draft than I had ever done before. And man, Middlestat, the highlights looked amazing. It just hasn't panned out for him the way that I think most people would have thought. I think it's a real red flag that it didn't go well for him at all in Colorado. But he is only 26, so I think that there's obviously, it depends on the price, right? Would you be interested? Sure. Does he fit the profile of the guy that they really want in that spot? Not necessarily. So I guess if for the right price, sure. I think Zacha fits that profile a little bit more. A guy that can kill penalties. He's bigger. He's still just 28 years old. But he's shown it more in the NHL, I think, than Middlestat has. So I think that would be the guy that if you're looking for the type of profile that you'd want as your second line center, has offensive ability and maybe brings a little different element than Elias Pettersson, I think Zacha is probably the guy that I would lean to a little bit more.
I'm still not convinced the Bruins want to fully rebuild, though. And so I don't understand why these deals make sense for them necessarily, right?
would be an odd move to make in August or September as well. Like normally when you decide to go down that path, you make that decision in June before the draft, right? Or just after the draft, before free agency. So yeah, I would agree. I guess believe it when we see it, if they trade one of those two guys.
Before we leave Elias Pettersson, I had no earthly idea until you prompted me about this before our interview, Rob. But there is a scorching hot topic on Canucks Reddit these days surrounding number 40 and having nothing to do with last year or his summer workouts or next season and how he's going to perform. Pray tell, Rob.
Yeah, so Elias Pettersson was, all these quotes were coming out from the media availability they did with the Swedish Olympic team. Now he hasn't been named to the Swedish Olympic team, but he's been, photographed in like the Swedish Olympic shirt. Like I think it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to make Team Sweden. That's no surprise. But they did like little photo shoots, and you can see online there are multiple photographs with Elias Pettersson, and he has a ring on his ring finger, which everyone I know that has a ring on that finger is married. So I think that sparked the discussion is like, did Elias Pettersson get secretly married? Now, I had some people joke with me like, oh man, it must be like, dog days of summer, you care about this. And I was like, guys, if this happened in the playoffs, I would be all over this story. Like, this is my wheelhouse. So did Elias Pettersson have like a secret wedding in Sweden? Like I think that was like a lot of the discussion. An astute Redditor pointed out though, and the internet confirms this, that when you get engaged in Sweden, it's customary for the man and the woman to wear an engagement ring. So did he get engaged? His girlfriend has been spotted on social media in recent months, also wearing what appears to be an engagement ring. So I think congratulations are in order. We don't have confirmation on this. Pettersson's been, as we know, like pretty private on social media, since about 2020, 2021 is when he kind of, started sharing a lot less, I think, on social media. So it appears that he got engaged. That's my best guess, that he got engaged this summer in Sweden.
Do you guys have a page 6?
Yeah, and it's...
Do you have it? Like, we need to have a new column, I think.
What do you mean page 6? That's page 1 for them, Blake. That is page 1.
Yes. No, in the Post, it's the page 6, though, right?
Yeah, sure, fair enough. But I mean, it's the New York Post. This is Robin Daily. I mean, that's page 1. Caitlin Bird, American model. This is the suspicion.
Yeah, she was at the Four Nations tournament, and she had the Wags all have their team jackets. So she was wearing the jacket with Pettersson on it. So it does appear that she is Elias Pettersson's girlfriend, maybe now fiance. So there you go. There's your TMZ update of the day.
Or things moved very quickly with someone other than Caitlin Bird since the Four Nations in February. But good catch by that Reddit poster. I once interviewed the pioneering women's marathoner Greta Weitz of Norway, and I met her in a hotel cafe for the interview. She was still sponsored by Adidas, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her ring finger, and it's an Adidas ring. And she finally caught me and she went, "Oh, I'm not married to Adidas. We wear our rings on the other hand in Norway." I was like, okay, that makes more sense than married.
Okay, on this topic as well, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo got engaged? Did you see size of that ring?
I did not.
It looks like it's like the size of, it's a diamond, but it's the size of like a Super Bowl ring. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, he can afford it after the Saudi deal, to say the least. Yeah. Ticket prices. Last time we talked to you, Rob, you were doing more sleuthing on ticket prices because the Canucks had just released some of the mini packs that are available. What can you tell us about ticket prices at Rogers Arena this year?
Yeah. So they went on sale to the general public last week. I poked around just when they had like the little pre-sale codes floating around just to see what was available just before they went on sale to the general public. It's now like $100 is like a cheap. That's like a cheap ticket to a Canucks game now. So what I saw, it was like 5 or 6 games. No, just 5 games that actually were available when I checked before they went on sale to the general public that were listed for under $100. And that was Buffalo, Islanders, San Jose, Dallas Stars, and Anaheim. So to give you an idea of what the ticket prices are like for games this season, also had a poke around, like if you check Ticketmaster right now, cheapest ticket for opening night, $159 is the cheapest ticket on the on Ticketmaster. Just kind of interesting to see like the way like the ticket prices have really ballooned in the last few years. Another thing, I had a season ticket member tell me like the price. This is what he told me. He said he's like, what a price difference between season ticket holders and non-season ticket holders. He said he paid $124 for his Leafs ticket as a season ticket member. Face value on it now is $260. So to give you an idea, if you're willing to buck up for season tickets ahead of time, you can get it in for a cheaper per game price. But they really up the prices for those single game tickets, which also helps to explain why the Toronto Maple Leafs game is no longer available for the second year in a row for quarter season ticket members. It's the only game they don't give for quarter seasons is that Leafs game, so they can charge more for single games.
You also had a seat beat update from our last meeting with you, and I would expect them to be further along personally than where they are, but they do have time left.
I feel like at this point, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's like they're kind of procrastinating, kind of like delaying on things. Just the way it's gone so far, I'm not shocked that it's like not done in like early August. But
yes,
no, I fully expect that
we're mid-August now. It's mid-August now.
Yeah, true. I mean, I fully expect that they'll be. You know what? If I were to guess where they'll be, I would guess that during preseason, you'll see some photos popping around where it's like, oh, they missed
There's
like
2 rows left.
Yeah, they got the final touches are coming.
I could see it, and I wouldn't be surprised if like opening night they're like, okay, now we're done for opening night. That wouldn't shock me, but we'll see. Yeah. But it's going to look better in there. It already does.
And speaking of tickets, Rob, Thomas Müller is coming to town as soon as this Sunday for the Whitecaps. Your reporter, Hard Joe Hall, she has done terrific work chronicling this team, and particularly this week with this whole Tim Ford fiasco. So I just want to shout out Hard Journalist on X. First of all, do you have Müller fever? Were you going to be there Sunday? Do you think there's a huge anticipation? We know it's an event town, Rob. What says you?
Guys, I've been following the flight. It's Lufthansa.
I knew you were going to follow the flight.
You think he's on that?
How did I know flight? He was flight tracked?
He's got to be okay. He took a video from the from first class on the plane. It looks to me like I believe I saw a Lufthansa logo. There's only one flight in today that's direct Munich to YVR. I don't think he's taking a private jet for an overseas flight like that. So it looks like he is scheduled to arrive at 4:55 p.m. at YVR. They do have a bit of a media. They've invited the media to come to YVR today to see him at the airport. So Har's going to be there. She does, as you astutely said, she does such an awesome job of following the Whitecaps, and she's going to be there. So I think we're going to see some video of Thomas Müller rolling into YVR. And what a job, by the way, like what a job he has done. Like I didn't know anything I didn't follow him on social media before the Whitecaps had interest. He is going to do a tremendous job of selling the Vancouver Whitecaps. Like, assuming his play on the field goes as expected, the off-field stuff is a real bonus because he is very active on social, I think that's going to be big for the Whitecaps. And it looks like not quite a lower bowl sellout yet for Sunday, but it looks pretty close. And I would imagine once he does a press conference on Thursday and it looks like he's going to play, that they'll have at least a lower bowl sellout.
And when people are sure they're going to get 90 minutes of him, I think you get an even bigger bump. So we'll see. Yeah.
Close-ups looking for wedding rings, flight tracking Lufthansa's across the Atlantic.
Chef's kiss.
It's like we're interviewing Harvey from TMZ, Blake.
Yeah, exactly.
He's our own personal Harvey.
You got to work a little harder in August. You got to work. All these beat writers are on vacation right now, and I'm out here grinding.
You're out here grinding, Rob Williams, and that's what we love about you, buddy. The national sports editor of the Daily Hive, and it's Offside Sports Vertical. Appreciate this, my friend. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks, guys.
So Carson Price from the historic Wall Center. We have Dwayne Veno, BC Lions president, in studio. He prefers coming in to see us, Blake, so you're missing him here today live and in the flesh. How are you?
Great, I miss you, Blake.
I miss you, and I'm also middle of the screen, which is an unfamiliar place for me because that's just the way we need to. Matt and you need to look at each other on the screen.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm actually in the middle. Usually we have subject in the middle. So this
exactly. Exactly. We like to pepper from both sides.
Sorry to mess you up.
Yeah. Saturday, 4 p.m. BC Place against the Montreal Alouettes, trying to get to 500 and kick off here the second half of the CFL schedule. And you've brought some goodies in, including toy sports car here.
Oh.
The P&A Fair game.
Yeah, we made 7,500 of those cars. The first 7,500 people through the door get this BC Lions branded car, which is pretty cool. And it's all the box is branded, significance of the game, etc. And all the kids seem to love it. So, get there early.
Mm-hmm. What have you made of attendance this year? What's been the market response this year to Lions football?
Yeah, pretty good. Traditionally, after a Grey Cup, a year after a Grey Cup, sometimes you tend to have they used to call it the Grey Cup hangover, but they're a little bit of a slide. We actually increased our seasons going into this year by about 1,000 over last year's Grey Cup number, which was a significant increase. So,
how'd you do that? Like, what's responsible for that?
It's hard to pin.
It's hard seasons in a Grey Cup here. You get your Grey Cup tickets right early.
Exactly. It's hard to pinpoint it, but I at the end of the day, we're trying to we have lots of different initiatives that we work on. How's our game day entertainment? What are we doing about attracting new fans and younger kids, and just all the things that we do? We believe it's rolling in the right direction, and it's increasing our fan base year after year. So it's great. So that's just our season perspective, and then coming out of going into sort of the game day themes, and it's a big part of what we do. That concert opener again came close to selling out this year, and our Watermelon Smash is a hit. So we're always...
Yes, I've noticed. In fact, Mike participated in the producer's booth. This is the Show and Shine game. You're celebrating car culture. Neat idea.
Yeah, so this one is a brand new theme for us. We've been doing the Driven Project for a few years, which is a very, very cool idea. It's... Kevin Gordon runs this thing. It's like Make-A-Wish, but these kids get to go into these supercars and, Ferraris and Lambos and all these things, and they get dropped off at the front door, and Amar Doman, introduces them. The cheerleaders go crazy. It's a very, very special moment. So we've piggybacked on that, and we've got a car show going on in the Plaza of Nations as well. We have 200 cars coming.
Wow.
And it's all part of our pregame party. So it's sort of a whole car theme.
You guys are standing.
That's only for kids. The rides with Amar is only for kids,
and the cars are only for kids too, Matthew. So keep your hands in your pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are standing in the middle of the ring, slugging away, trying to figure out the perfect way to get the most people into the stadium, and as you said, doing a pretty good job of that by increasing your season tickets. Elsewhere in the CFL, some of those, I think it was your visit to Regina that maybe raised the most sort of eyebrows. It was like, there's a lot of empty seats in Regina. And of course, there's some other prairie issues as well. What have your colleagues in the league been saying about what they've been seeing? Because we didn't think we'd ever see empty seats at that number in Regina, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, I think they're bouncing back a bit in Saskatchewan. They have gone on a bit of a lull, but this year, they're first place in the West, first place overall.
On the field, yes.
On the field, they're starting to get it back. I think that's a combination of, they weren't good for a few years, and
right.
and I don't know that it may, I don't know exactly what that is, but everyone in the league's working really, really hard. Montreal's doing well. Saskatchewan's bouncing back. I think Winnipeg sold out 8 games in a row or something crazy like that, which is great for them. Hamilton just sold out last weekend. So I think you're seeing things take off. Most teams in the league start slow and build up, and then Labor Day is sort of when they sort of hit their peak, and then they continue through the fall, where we have a bit of a different strategy. We try to get out of the gate quick. That's why that concert opener is so important. We get that game sold out, and then we continue from there. So I feel like things are going in the right direction league-wide. We probably have a maybe a bit more growth, but we had more to grow. When Amar bought the team was, it was easier to grow where we were than maybe some teams that are a little bit higher in their base.
And for walk-up, what's your pre and post Labor Day split there? You'd think, okay, it's summertime, everybody's available, but as we've chronicled, sometimes people go away so much that for you guys in the Whitecaps, it's not as ideal to have the summer dates. What do you think the walk-up looks like in the fall?
It's interesting. It's a different audience sometimes based on the time of year and the game itself. So we do a very, very, very good job of Saturdays, Sundays, 4 o'clocks. Mm-hmm. And why do we do that? This province is big, and people from the island and the interior can come to a game, get to a game at 4 o'clock, watch the game, go home. If you're in the area, you can have your kids in bed by 8 o'clock at night if you want to. So those games in the summer, that is a specific audience that does very, very well. Then you get into the fall, it shifts a little bit. We're on 3 out of the 4 games in the fall are Friday nights, so it's a bit of a different crowd. There's more people here. But
games of import though too, though.
Yeah,
right?
well,
but it's not so much. It's still family driven, but it's not heavy family focused. It switches gears into a little bit more of a different audience.
And this is something that Amar Doman, an Islander himself, brought in. We had been talking about it for years, Blake, on our show, that if you have the 4 p.m. Saturday start as opposed to the 7 p.m. Saturday start, you can attract from the interior and the island. And so very pleased for the football fans in both constituencies that has continued to be a thing for you guys, Dwayne. I want to point forward to next year.
Yes.
Last time we talked to you, the FIFA World Cup is coming in. It's taken over BC Place for a month plus. And we know that runs with week, 2 to 6 in the Canadian Football League schedule, or 2 to 5, somewhere.
We will be out of the building for the first 6 weeks of our schedule next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't play a single home game
until week 7.
Okay.
Yeah. What's our plan?
Yes, you and Amar have used and dropped things out there. What's going on there, and when will plans be formalized?
So we've been very vocal about sort of what our plan is, but we can't give the details of where and how it's going to sort of unveil. It's coming quickly. We hope to have this sort of announced early September on exactly what we're doing, but. In a regular cadence of 6 weeks of schedule, you would have 3 home games and 3 away in a regular cadence. So we are working towards a plan here where we would have those 3 aways in that 6 weeks. We normally don't have a bye in the first 6 weeks. We would have 1 bye in that time frame. And then we're looking to have 2 off-site games in other markets in this province, where we will host a version of a Touchdown Pacific like we did, but in different markets.
Stands to reason one will be on the island. Really? You can't confirm?
I cannot confirm that yet.
They got 2 stadiums there that you've played in.
Yeah, I know. I cannot confirm that yet, but it's coming quickly.
Will one be in the Lower Mainland?
Everything will be in BC, obviously. Okay. Like we pride ourselves. You guys have heard us talk about this a million times. We are BC's team.
Yeah.
We're not Vancouver's team. So we want to have we want to play in significant markets, if you will. They're all significant, but in a market in this province.
Is your
If we can
training
get-
camp home of Thompson Rivers University in Kamloops? Is that under consideration?
Everything's under consideration. We've looked at all
Well, not
areas.
everything. You need a certain footprint and size of stadium, do you not, Dwayne?
We're building. No matter where we go, we have to build something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying everything's open here. If you look at just what we did in Victoria as an example, we took that baseball stadium, which Royal Athletic Park, and it held, I think at max, I think it was about 3,000, and we turned it. We maybe put too many people in there, but we had over 15,000 people at that game. And we need something to do. We need it to be at a minimum of 17.5, and we're looking at different sites and things that how do we get to 17.5 to 20,000? And but the variation here is there's a couple things up in the air, like are you using the same for 2 games? Are you doing different locations? There's a bunch of different.
So just to be clear, like you could find a suitable field and build 17.5 around it, or you need some sort of existing infrastructure and then you top it up to 17.5.
Yes to both. Because
possible.
we basically did that in Royal Athletic Park.
Yeah.
There's no football field there.
Blake has always eyed the Winter Classic
Yeah.
hockey game in Whistler.
Yeah.
Could you do a football game like in Whistler?
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't. I will rule out Whistler.
Okay.
Yeah, because
We've gotten a little bit here.
Yeah.
The 18th fairway at one of the courses.
But I'll tell. Here's what I'll tell you. If you have an existing football field, then the infrastructure there that you don't always see, that people don't always like. If you go to a baseball diamond versus a football field, obviously that football field has things you need to run a football game. And sometimes when you go to a place that doesn't have like an empty field like you're talking about, there's way more to build.
Okay.
So you're absolutely right. I just can't let the cat out of the bag.
I know.
I'm trying to give you everything
I
you
hear you.
want. But
I'll tell you what. I don't think you would disagree that from a PR standpoint, it's actually, I think it's a total win for you guys. And I know it's a hassle for the team to do all this, but from a just PR, it's a total win for you to move a couple of games around the province. But brass tacks matters. Yet you guys also pay, a decent rent to get a game into BC Place. Can you guys make more money on these 2 games than you do on a regular BC Place game, assuming that you sell out the modest seats that you will have? Is it possible that you guys can get a little bit of a financial uptick with these 2 games?
Yeah, I don't think we'll get an uptick.
No.
We're fighting hard, Blake, to just sort of stay whole, if you will,
right?
Because the build out of these things is massive,
yes,
right?
Of course,
just
Is the league not helping you with that, Dwayne?
this isn't a league thing. It's more it's us, right? It's our we're in a situation where we don't have a home, and it's but we're working through.
Argos are losing their stadium too, though. Right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. They're
So 2 of 9 member clubs are affected, and the league's not helping.
No, I don't think it's our responsibility.
Okay.
It's our responsibility to do it. And at the end of the day, to your point, Blake, our model in our market is about let's really go to different areas in this province. Toronto's may be different, right?
Of course.
They have a different model, a different market. It might be a little bit different. So for us, it works perfectly. And as long as we can try to stay whole, from our BC Place arrangement to going to a market where we're reaching new fans, I think it's a win.
Your stablemate at BC Place has let it be known how difficult it is for them right now. The relationship there isn't fantastic. How are things between the Lions and BC Place and Pavco?
Yeah, excellent. We talk regularly. It is a major inconvenience to what we just talked about with FIFA, but FIFA is the biggest event in the world. Like we're so lucky to have it here in Vancouver. We're looking forward to supporting it. We're looking forward to using this opportunity to go out and take our product outside of our market and then come back and just let her rip. But the benefits too. There's benefits that are coming out of this as well with all these improvements to BC Place.
Yeah, no doubt, and we've seen some of it already. Like you go into BC Place now, and you see some of the preparations already. They're talking about a new stadium. They're talking about a new stadium at the PNE site. Is there any world, Dwayne, where the Lions and Whitecaps could be together in a stadium not named BC Place?
Yeah,
Any chance of a partnership here?
Yeah, I don't know. You and I were talking about this sort of off the air. It's we would have to align on what our interests are, and I just don't necessarily know if the Whitecaps' interest and the Lions' interests are the same. It's the same size of stadium, what amenities? Like I just don't know. And
have they reached out? When's the last time they called you on this?
Oh yeah, I haven't talked to them about this for a long time. So. They're looking at a certain thing. I believe they're looking at somewhere in the 20,000 range, as 22 to 24. I believe is what they're sort of their magic number on capacity, and ours is higher than that. Blake, we were just sort of talking about that off the air. We need, if you look at the stadiums in our league, the ones that are sort of in that prime spot, and we talked about attendance at the beginning, but Winnipeg's 33,000. Saskatchewan's at 36. I think they would, if you ask Craig Reynolds right now, he would say he wants to be at 30. Like that 30 is that
30
number.
is the magic number in the CFL.
30
right?
is our, 30 is our number. If we had something that was 30, that just sort of creates that demand, and it just makes everything sort of tick. And BC Place is a great,
fewer dates too, right? Like versus the Whitecaps, who have 17 home dates, you have fewer dates, so you need to get more bodies per game. So that makes
exactly. I was just saying, if you had only 20,000 seat stadium, then your price has to go up. And so, is that the model that we want? We're trying to appeal to families, trying to make it affordable. And we don't want to be in a situation where if you don't have enough seats, you have to charge more, and then it just sort of wrecks the model. So like you said, like I said, 30 is probably our number.
Lastly, Thomas Müller is a big deal across this planet, and he's coming in to play as soon as this Sunday. For the Whitecaps. That can have any effect on your crowd? Is there any overlap there in terms of casuals that might be going to Whitecaps games now because of this German superstars coming to town? Would you be worried at all?
No. I personally, sometimes people in my jobs look at things as competition. We really look at it as if there's more people going to sporting events and they're getting used to going to sporting events and they like sporting events, it benefits us all. So we hope that they sell more tickets. We have a very good crowd coming right now already. We're going to sell out the lower bowl. We're getting darn close already. That's sort of always our plan.
Wow.
And then we try to get our depending on the game, if we can get that upper bowl open, we do. But right now we're tracking very well to have a great crowd.
Well, the first annual show and show. Well, the inaugural show and shine, not first annual.
I hope it's. That's right. It's got good vibes.
The inaugural show and shine game Saturday at BC Place between the Lions and Montreal Alouettes, and as Dwayne mentioned, 4 p.m. kickoff. As Dwayne mentioned, you can check out all those fantastic cars on the Plaza of Nations, and a game ticket gets you entry into the PNE Fair. We're just around the corner from that as well. Great seeing you again. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Bye, Blake.
So Carey Price from the historic Wall Center. Game night. Make it a game weekend. Turn that ticket into a downtown getaway with a special Carey Price rate here at the Wall Center. Book now, 604-331-1000. Tell them you heard it here. Some blackout date supply based on availability. Well, finishing up with Dwayne Veno. They're mid-season with some injuries. The Lions have signed some reinforcements. 2 veteran Canadians, wide receiver Hergy Mayala, defensive end Anthony Bennett. Both, ironically, at one time, 8th overall picks in the CFL draft, so first rounders. Mayala on his 5th team was cut by Toronto earlier this year. Bennett on his 3rd team after starting with Winnipeg, getting cut by Ottawa. He's been mostly a special teamer.
And a failed NBA career. Or different guy. Different Anthony. Yeah.
Now, One guy the Lions would really like to bring in is North Vancouver's Theo Benedette, the ex-UBC offensive lineman who is currently in his second camp with the NFL's Chicago Bears. Benedette started at right tackle for the Bears in their preseason opener, and he graded out as their top offensive lineman, according to one analyst. Our old friend Adam Johns-Blake, you remember Adam from his days covering the Blackhawks with the Sun-Times. He's at CHGO Sports now, covering the Bears. He told me, he said, Benedette's going to make this team. So a Hansworth product, was BC's second-round selection in last year's draft. Absolutely wish him the best down there, especially if you're a Bears fan. And doesn't sound like he's going to be available to the Leos in 2025.
Go Royals.
Yes, running back James Butler, safety Christophe Beaulieu, both named to the CFL's Week 10 honor roll. We talked about the big play Beaulieu made in overtime to help beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And Butler's nice return season here for Butler after spending 1 year in Hamilton. No, he's been awesome. Michael Couture, the center, defensive back Gary Peters, both limited at practice, but the week is early yet. 4-5, trying to get back to 500 versus Montreal Saturday. And here's the other thing. We didn't get into this with Dwayne as much. He's not really the football ops guy. They're 1-3 at home, Blake. They haven't won since the season opener in the big Snoop Dogg concerts.
First thing I was going to bring up with you here was they have to start being a home team. It's great.
Yeah.
3-2 on the road, fabulous. Well done, guys.
Right.
But you have to be a home team in the CFL.
Well, and the other thing is the more entertaining Lions games, like the one in Montreal, like the one in Hamilton, have been on the road.
Right.
So
Dwayne Veno would love some entertainment in DC.
Right.
He can sell, right?
Right. And, that's the one thing holding them back, right? Because you look at the other teams above them in the West, they all have 3 home wins. BC has but the one. So
now, in their favor, they've been great out of division. Now, we'll get to the divisional record when they next have a divisional game, but they've been making hay against the East. So
they have.
They would love to have that continue.
Yeah, and of course, Montreal has had some quarterback health issues this year, so looking for the game on Saturday. George Kirby strikes out 7 over 7 scoreless for the Mariners, who win their 8th straight ball game, 1-0 in Baltimore last night. Seattle had its first caught stealing in 20 games. They had gone a streak of 20 straight successful stolen bases. And they're getting speedster Victor Robles back. He's currently on a rehab assignment. He's been out with a shoulder injury since April. Remember making that awkward catch, Blake, in right field. He had to be carted off. Starting pitcher Bryce Müller also on a rehab assignment. So they're good, and they're getting healthier as the season meanders along here. Jays beat the Cubs 5-1 thanks to 5+ shutout innings from Jose Barrios, a 3-run home run from Ernie Clement. Emotional return for Buck Martinez, his first home game in a couple of months after another battle with cancer for the legendary Blue Jays broadcaster and former player. He's got a lovely introduction last night for a huge crowd at Rogers Center who cheered him on. And we talked yesterday about their bullpen needs and what is shaping up to be a very crowded rotation. Blake, how about this for the AAA Buffalo Bisons? Today, you get Alek Manoah starting in his long journey back to the bigs.
Oh, man. Roy Halladay.
Thursday, Trey Yesavage, the Blue Jays' top prospect, who has just been promoted to AAA and may actually be a factor in the big league bullpen going forward. And then Friday, Shane Bieber, the big acquisition at the trade deadline, the former Cy Young winner with the Cleveland Guardians. So maybe some Blue Jays beat writers beating a path down to Buffalo to take in these 3 games, because needless to say, they could have some significance for the way the Blue Jays pitching staff shapes up.
They need one of those guys. They would love 2 of those guys to be factors for them in September and October. But one of those guys needs to be in the major leagues and impactful for them in the not too distant future. So that's pretty exciting. I've got zero hope or optimism on Alek Manoah. The other 2,
well, I was just going to say, could you not see Manoah's a close, like 6'8", 250 or whatever he is, like in a short, high leverage role. I mean, he has that sort of intimidating closer look. We'll see if he can actually locate the ball, and because he has gone through some mighty struggles over 2 years.
Have you seen a tweet or anything on the last time the Mariners and the Jays led a division at the same time? Like,
no.
But
no.
My gut is telling me since realignment and stuff. Like, would it have happened since the 3 division setup? I don't know.
I will have to. I mean, possibly early in the season, but you're right. It's getting late in the day.
Yeah.
40-some games left in the baseball schedule. As for the Vancouver Canadians, they won last night 10-3 in Spokane. Jackson Wentworth ties a career-high 9 strikeouts on just 82 pitches. Very economical. He's becoming another pitching development success story here in a season of them for the Blue Jays. And I say that because 4 Vancouver pitchers have been promoted to Double-A. Fernando Perez, Yandre Rojas, Johan Simon, and Kai Peterson. 3 pitchers coming up from Single-A Dunedin, including lefty Juanmi Vasquez. He put up a 3.89 ERA, 52 strikeouts in 44 innings. The Canadians went 20-3 to close out the first half standings, and they are going to need something similar with 23 games remaining in the second half. They are 10 out. They're back at it tonight in Spokane. Home a week from tonight against Tri-City. Home Tuesday against Tri-City. Also home a week from tonight. It's an RBC We Care Wednesday in support of Science World. 2 homestands left for the C's. Get your tickets. These are very popular games. We tell you all the time. 604-872-5232 or CanadiansBaseball.com.
All the people that have said we wanted to go to a Canadians baseball game this year and we haven't done that yet. They're the ones clamoring now. So you're in competition with those people. So
guys like Blake Price and his family, right? Isn't it
right.
time?
We were going to do a family game, but we haven't done that yet. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's time.
I've been to a couple, but
And while we're at it, shout out to our old friend Andy Dunn, past president of the Vancouver Canadians. He has taken a new gig with the Detroit Tigers organization. He's the vice president of business operation for the Lakeland Tigers in the Florida State League, right near his home in Orlando. So been texting with Andy here over the last few weeks. Shams Charania with huge news today in the NBA. Tom Dundon, the owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, has agreed to buy the Portland Trailblazers from the estate of Paul Allen. And, of course, Paul's sister Jody has been running the Seattle, taken over as owner for the Seattle Seahawks and Portland Trailblazers since her brother Paul's death. The valuation here is over $4 billion, Blake, for one of the least valuable NBA franchises, right? Like it's one of the smallest markets
with shitty real estate. It's yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a downtown adjacent arena. It's a very nice facility. I've been there for college basketball. I've been there for NBA basketball.
Needs renovation. Renovation.
And he's been a renegade owner of sorts in the National Hockey League. He's involved in all the decisions there, right? He's been holding the line on salaries, offer sheeting. They don't draft defensemen in round 1. He's philosophically believes in knocking the door every year. They've been very analytics forward, that organization as well. Blazers have a nice collection of young players who are more defensively minded. It's going to be interesting to see if they can find the correct pieces to get that team ahead. But yeah, first of all, I didn't realize Tom Dundon had that kind of money. And he's based in Texas. Well, and the other thing is he's based in Texas, or that's where he's made his millions or billions, if you will. And so Raleigh, Portland, it's a lot of flying on the PJ.
Well, that's if they remain in Portland. Now, I don't think they go to Raleigh because I don't think Carolina supports 2 NBA teams.
No.
But would the NBA like them to be in like Austin or something like that? Or
Vegas or Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh my God, moving the Trailblazers to Seattle, I couldn't imagine.
Can you imagine? Oh my God. All the you'd hate to see it go to your rival city, but at the same time, at least it's still driving distance. Like you still get to be their fan.
I don't know, man. They're calling the Sonics, though. They're certainly going to rebrand. Oh, man. Don't even want to consider that. Results of our Bogey Juice poll question from Monday. If JT Miller is named captain of the Rangers, will that stir any emotions with you? Yes or no? What did the people say?
People said no.
Percentage?
I saw early returns, so I'm cheating a little bit here. I'll say 75.
85.
You got it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw a lot using this one from JCOG, but saw a lot of it. No, who cares? Move on. S. John says, it would be funny because the dumbest people in the fan base would start dunking and then the Rangers will miss the playoffs. Tanya says, yes, will break my heart all over again. Such a stupid decision to trade him. Shouldn't have wasted the money on extending Petey. The Canucks will never be a championship team. Glad I'm done with them. And then we got a lot of these responses too. Jeff, is laughter an emotion? Yeah. And JC asks, is apathy an emotion? I think it's quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah,
JC.
0. Yeah.
3 errors and omissions from Monday's program to get and beyond. I said Vicky Mboko at one point is from Montreal. No, she grew up in Toronto. Filipino was the 21st pick in 2017. Vitaly Kravtsov, the 9th pick in the 2018 draft, both by the New York Rangers. We were talking about their draft positions yesterday and how they both were taken a little bit higher, I think it's fair to say, than many expected at the time of those drafts. And then had a tennis fan write in on you, Blake. Diallo Sinner was a 3rd-round match.
Yes.
In Cincinnati.
I think it was Diallo's second, though, because he had a first-round bye. But
or Sinner's second, because he had a first-round.
I think Diallo's second, too, though.
By the way, that was new to me in terms of the way they're doing these 1,000 events that are nearly 2 weeks long now, huh? Did you see that? Like how long it went on in Toronto and Montreal?
Yeah. One more from me.
Oh.
Thanks to Yerke. Surprise, for pointing this one out. I was told there would be no math, but I had said that 3 different Simply Spiked flavors in each of the 3 different boxes would be 3 to the power of 3, making 9, as he points out. That's just straight multiplication, Blake, and he's right.
That is
not an exponent situation.
No, it's not.
27 flavors, it's too many.
No,
9,
way too many.
Right.
Nobody needs 27.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate you spending some time and connecting with the program. Please do subscribe to all our assorted channels, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Follow on social. That's X, Insta, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky. Live on many of those platforms, noon Pacific time weekdays. We will have and of course, please do support the community sponsors you hear us talking about. Keep it local.